I just learned about the edge sorting thing that Phil Ivey and maybe others were involved with. I just reading it at first was super interesting to me that you can exploit the imperfections in the printing of cards.
Yeah.
That was almost cool to me. That's almost
cool.
not cheating because it's like
that needs to be a movie.
that needs to be a movie. Yes.
Yeah. What happened with Phil Ivey in that whole case is it's a catastrophe, really.
Yeah.
It is such a horrible precedent because here's what he did. Phil Ivey shows up at the casino, says, "I want to play this game." They say, "Okay." "All right. I want to play with those decks." They say, "Okay." They agree to everything that he says. He never touches the cards. He doesn't do anything outside of the fact that cards that you supplied have imperfections on them and he can see them.
Yeah.
Okay? So that increases his chances of winning. He could still lose, theoretically, right? Probably not, but he can lose in theory. It just gives him a little bit of an edge. And it's all stuff based on what you provided.
Yeah.
So the idea that you offered a game, I accepted, I beat you, and now you want to free roll me? That's disgusting.
So for people who don't know, maybe you can elaborate, and it's just fascinating to me. But you're exploiting the imperfections in the card patterns on the back, and then they look different if you rotate it. And the fascinating thing too, when you shuffle, usually you don't rotate the cards, so that you can see sort of detect which cards are the strong cards by marking them through rotating them. And the way you know they're rotated is because of the pattern imperfections.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so some of the cards, like you said, like, they had those like that pattern on it.
Yeah.
And some of them, this was faulty cards on there, were not cut properly.
Yeah.
So like the 8s and 9s had the card cut differently. And those are important cards in this game, the 8s and 9s or whatever. So you could essentially, from looking at the back of the card, discern, what it's going to be. You do nothing in terms of like cheating yourself. You're not rigging the game. All you're doing is taking advantage of the fact that you're playing, you've offered me cards that are faulty.
Can I just say that, of course, it would be Phil Ivey, who's the GOAT at the normal game, who would be figure out this particular thing. I mean, that's what, if you're into soccer, this Diego Maradona has that famous hand of God in the World Cup where he scores a goal with his hand. And so, of course, the referee didn't see it. They thought it was a header. So, I mean, part of the magic of the genius of the people at the top of the game is they're able to exploit all the flaws that are there. That's a beautiful thing.
See, Phil had, in his heyday, he exploited weaknesses in casinos, systems all over the country. Like in one night, I don't know if you know this story. In one night, he would take a private plane, and fly to 30 different casinos all over the country. Because he would have these deals where they're like, all right, we got this big rich sucker who's going to come here and play craps, and he's going to lose all our money. So he'd have this deal with one of the casinos where they'd be like, all right, you get 20% back up to $500,000, right? So if you lose $500,000, we'll give you back $100K. Okay. So he'd go to one casino in Tunica. He'd play $500,000. He'd win or lose. He would leave. They think they're going to get him to stay. They get him a big room, whatever. So let's say he goes to Tunica. He loses $500,000. Okay. Now he flies to Atlantic City. He wins $500,000. Okay. He lost $500,000 and won $500,000, but he got $100,000 back. So he's actually plus $100,000. Do that at 10 casinos a night. You're making $1 million in free equity. And they would give him promotional chips and all these kind of things and free flights and stuff like that. So he took advantage of the image, that they're trying to exploit. So this is why I don't have any empathy for these casinos, because they're giving you free drinks. Why do you think they're doing that? Kind of the kindness of their heart. They're trying to exploit you. So guess what? You lost at your own game. Pay the piper. And I think it was crazy because the judges in his case said he did not cheat, but it's probably not right. Hold on. Yeah. You just said he didn't cheat. That should be the end of the case.